All right, music fans and fans of current events, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music, real country music today, and doing it in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you and just like me. Some of you won't understand this video. Since I'm talking about country, here is Jason Boland and the Stragglers, The Light Saw Me. Authentic red dirt country music with a very unique sound. It's got a lot of just pure Americana and rock tendencies. I'm getting more and more frustrated with the melodic rock scene because none of it sounds organic or authentic. It sounds overly produced, and I just want to hear a bunch of instruments, and I want to be able to make out what they sound like. That's what I want. I don't want a thump or a wall of sound. And sometimes country music is a great place to kind of purge, cleanse. Not everybody likes country, but I do. I like authentic country. I don't like bro country. Anyway, I could do another video on that. I want to talk about Brad Paisley, though, who is a country superstar. And he is about ready to release his new album called Son of the Mountains. And it features a very special guest, according to this article, which comes to us from GMA, which is a website, of course, that is wired in to all of the propaganda that comes from the military-industrial complex. Son of the Mountains is the new album, and it features Volodymyr Zelensky. Paisley just released the song. It's called Same Here, marking the anniversary of Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. The song's lyrics bridge the perceived divide that can exist within countries and cultures. Paisley sings, however you talk, whatever you think, from the songs that you sing to the drink that you drink. If you miss your mama and worry about your babies and love each other like crazy and want someone to share your hopes and fears, same here. And of course, he's making the point that the people in Ukraine have the same dreams, the same issues that here in America people are facing from day to day. I don't know. I think it's different. I think it's a different culture. I'm not saying that the Ukrainian rank and file, the people that live in Ukraine, aren't good people. But the government has been corrupted, and that corruption really kicked into high gear when the United States intervened in 2014 and basically installed the dictator that they wanted, or the ruler. And Zelensky comes in with the same type of credentials. And for some reason, he's being compared to Winston Churchill. I don't understand any of this. Zelensky in the song actually says, and we are proud of our army who defends our freedom and will defend our lives. So making the connection between patriotism there and patriotism here, there's no mention of how obviously this war didn't have to happen, and nobody is really searching for peace, but he's proud of his military. He's proud that the military is going to keep fighting on. We're fighting for our children, our parents, to defend our houses and families, Zelensky says to close out the song. There is no difference between our countries and such values. I would say that, you know what, some of that is true. Some of these cultural things that are happening here in the United States, where people are in shock and disbelief over what's happening, especially when it comes to the culture war. Yeah, definitely. Ukraine aligns with the United States way more than Russia does. In a press release, Paisley said, "Same Here" touches on the theme of freedom, which he called our most precious gift as Americans. This song is grounded in observing life in the United States, then to people from other countries who speak different languages, and to one across the ocean that's at war, he explained. We start to realize how similar we all are. Folks, this just solidifies the notion that Ukraine is a victim and there's only war as an answer to this problem, that we must continue to help Ukraine. And what's ironic is that this song will continue to help the people of Ukraine, which, here's the thing, okay? I've got to be careful here. The rank and file of Ukraine deserve to be helped. The best way to help those people, rather than sending money to the country, which I guess is an okay idea, would be to get this war ended, get it stopped. Because so long as there's war, there's going to be more destruction. And the media won't tell you. Brad Paisley won't tell you. GMA, where this comes from, they're not going to tell you that there was a negotiation that happened last March, which could have ended the war in Ukraine. And both the UK and the United States backed away from it. You won't hear that in the news. I mean, if you really want peace, right, don't you try to negotiate for peace? What is it that Russia wants? Why are they doing this? Well, there are a group of people in Ukraine, a pretty large group of people, that kind of advocate the same values as what we fought in World War II. Those people are basically running Ukraine, and especially the military. They are a huge part of the military, and we look the other way. They're called Azov, if you want to go look it up, AZOV. So they want that to stop, and they want the people in the eastern part of the country not to be bombed on a daily basis and shelled. That's been happening for 8 years. You're not going to hear that in the mainstream media. No one's going to touch it. It's true. It's been happening since we installed a puppet dictator back in 2014, and now Zelensky is kind of like the next phase of that. And everybody looks at this guy, you know, he wears these tight shirts. He looks rugged. He's good looking. He looks like, you know, a hero to so many people in Western media here in the United States and in other places like the UK. And this is just disturbing. It's disturbing, the level of propaganda. Now, the song itself doesn't mention Russia. It doesn't get into detail. It just makes like a Hallmark card to the people of Ukraine. And I'm sure it'll be very well received, and the rank and file deserve to be taken care of and looked out for. But the best way to do that would be to end this war, to call for peace. Notice how nobody in the song calls for peace. It's just that, yeah, your kids are important, our kids are important, everybody's kids are important. I don't know if you remember the song that Sting did. I think it was 1986 on his first solo album. The song is called Russians, and it talks about how the Russians love their children. Okay, and what's changed since then? Well, the old Soviet Union collapsed, and a new Russian Federation was born, thanks to Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev. They got it done. And because of all that, you know, we should be looking at Russia now as a country that's free, that is the biggest, I think, landmass in the world. They have a lot of natural resources. They've got their own economy. No matter how many sanctions you do to them, I think they're going to be resilient. They're now partnering with China. So all of this is forcing, you know, Russia and China and India and some other countries together. And they're basically saying, we don't need the United States. We don't need most of Europe anymore to do what we want to do, to get things done, to protect our people, to feed our people, to grow our economy. And I know that's a lot to take out of just this just very glib song, and it is. It's a nice song, by the way. It's not a bad tune. You listen to it and you go, yeah. And I'm sure it's going to do well, you know, on the country charts, unless Brad Paisley has fallen out of favor with the world of country music. I'm not sure. because everything is so disposable in all of these different genres now. But I like Brad Paisley, but I don't know. I don't understand the celebrity culture out there that just gravitates toward the next thing. And one guy speaks up, that's Roger Waters. He speaks up. We had Joe Lynn Turner on too, and he tends to align in the same direction in some ways. Just a handful of people look at this objectively and say, well, you surrounded the country with military bases and military hardware, and it didn't look as though you were going to stop doing that anytime soon. And if it happened to the United States, I mean, you'd have air raid sirens going off in the streets. If China or Russia started, building military bases in Mexico and Canada and close by, things would get real scary here, and maybe justifiable too. I don't know. But the Russians had 8 years. The people in the eastern part of Ukraine are ethnic Russian. So the people from the West are different, and they were bombing the people in the East for 8 years. And Russia was like, no, you got to stop doing that. And they negotiated a treaty. It's called the Minsk Agreement. You can go look it up. I'm not making any of this stuff up. But it obviously wasn't worth the paper it was written on, because they were just building up the military for the last 8 years in order to provoke this war. And again, the best thing you can do for the people of Ukraine is to negotiate peace. All right. So anyway, you can check out the song, Brad Paisley, same here. It's a universal song. I mean, people have kids and grandkids and families all over the world. And yes, we all care about each other, or we're supposed to. I'm wondering if Brad would write a song about the people of East Palestine, Ohio. I wonder if he would get on that, because that's here in this country, right here. You've got people suffering all over the place. You've got homeless veterans. I mean, the list of things. You've got violence in cities almost every night in this country. The death toll just goes up and up, and nobody seems to care about that. So anyway, here again, one more time, is Jason Boland and the Stragglers, The Light Saw Me. Good, authentic country music. Probably a little bit better than Brad Paisley to some degree. I know Brad's good. I don't dislike Brad, but I like stuff that's a little off the grid. And all of that West Texas red dirt music is really, really good. 98% of the time, it's really good, or at least it's far more listenable than most of the melodic rock I'm hearing these days. All right, folks, could be my tastes are changing. I'm getting old, so, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you soon.